Hey folks, do your kids know the meaning of the word integrity, right? Do they know what that means? Have you had a discussion of either the literal definition or what that means to you and why it might be important for them to have integrity and show integrity in their life, right? Here's a video to help you have that conversation with your kids. Hope you enjoy. Hey folks, it's Jake with Ninja Fit. One of the tenets we talk about and one of the life lesson words we use when we discuss things with our students in class, whether they're kids or adults, is integrity. Simply, in my definition of that is I want them to do the right thing even when nobody's watching. And I make them say that back to me and learn those words right there. First thing after you get that point across to your kids, that might be a good question for you to ask is, why is it important to show integrity, to have integrity? See if they, if you kind of give them that definition of what it means to you, then see if they can kind of answer back why they might think it's important. If they don't have an answer, here's what I would tell them. I say it helps develop the trust between you and whoever's around you when you're doing this. And the people know they can, like parents know, then they can leave you alone. They start trusting you more, that you're not going to burn the house down if they leave for 5 minutes to go to the grocery store or something. They trust you to do what they ask, right? So eventually you get more trust, and what kids really want is more freedom. They get more freedom, and sadly, you get higher expectations, right? You've met that first level. We know we can leave you alone, and you won't do anything silly to the house, and it won't be on fire when we get back. Well, then maybe later on you get higher and higher expectations, right? Mom and dad give you more freedom and expect more of you. That's what kids want, and they just don't know that they might not put it together that this is how they get there. So something to think about and have that conversation with them. Then after that, once they've you've gotten past that point, then challenge them to think of a time when they depended on someone to do what needed to be done, whether it was mom or dad. Think about every day, right? Mom or dad go to work. You need them to go to work so that way they can pay the bills and have the house or the apartment or whatever, and they can have the car to take you to and from school or your practices for all your sports and things you do. You need them to be responsible to help get you to places on time, right? Even when you're not watching them, they still do the right thing. They go to work. They still pay their bills. They still do all these things. Maybe it was a time, so think about that with them, or maybe think about, okay, so less abstract, more personal to you. Think about a time you asked a friend to do something for you and you needed them to do it even though you weren't there to watch them take care of this all the time. You trusted them to take care of this. How does it feel knowing you can trust somebody and depend on that person? Think about that. How does that feel? Does it feel good? Yeah, okay. Good. So that's what we want. We want people to keep feeling good about us. So we want to keep showing integrity in our relationships with all sorts of people. Then take it to another level, right? Another question. When was a time that you or someone else did not show integrity? Okay. A lot of kids might not be able to think about examples in their own life. So think about, okay, so maybe a friend let you down. You asked them to do something, they didn't follow through with it, or mom or dad let you down or something. Brother or sister didn't do something you asked them to do. Think about that. Give me a time that happened. Then, how did that feel to remember that time, right? It doesn't feel too good. It kind of feels cruddy to remember that you were let down, right? So there's another reason we don't want to let people down in the future. We don't want to have instances where we let people down and we don't show integrity. That's another reason why we want to show integrity, right? So here's a challenge for 1 week. Try to find examples each day that you're going and you're having these conversations with them. Maybe you pose a different question each day, that's fine. But try to ask them about times that they're examples they can give you from today. What happened to you today at school or today with your interaction and your friends or anybody, family and all that stuff, where you showed integrity or you expected them to, you trusted them to do something that you asked them to do even though you weren't there to watch them the whole time, right? How does that make people feel knowing that they can count on you to do the right thing even when no one's watching? Doesn't that feel good? Can you think about all the bonuses you're going to get then? If mom and dad can trust you, then what kind of things do you think might happen in the future? If you build that trust with them and you have a good relationship. So have those conversations. I hope this kind of gave you some guidelines, some questions to throw back and forth to them, make them think a little bit more deeply about it. about integrity and doing the right thing when no one's around, no one's watching, and try to help them grow into a better person. So enjoy and be safe. If you enjoyed some of these helpful tips for how to have these discussions with your kids about self-defense topics, I'd really suggest checking out Damsel in Defense's Safe Hearts books. They've got a lot of cute books in here that really good colored pictures for the kids to look at as you read along with them. And in the back of each book, there's even a little section with some questions to help guide the conversation further about, okay, now how did Becky deal with this this peer pressure situation, and what do you think she could have done differently? Or, I mean, there's all sorts of good questions in there for you. But before you do that, I really recommend checking out their Proactive Parent Guide to help prepare you for having these difficult conversations with your kids. But those books are great helps. I'll put some links on the page here for you to look at, and I really hope they help. Thanks.